Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, guys and girls and gals. I'm going to share my screen now. You should be able to see everything. Jean-Bor, if we have any problem, something is not correct, or you can hear me unwell or not well, then please let me know, okay? So, because I won't be able to see anything else apart from my own screen,
Yeah,
so.
sure.
All right, so let's jump into it. Thank you everyone for being here and joining this webinar. We will talk about mostly Microsoft Fabric and beyond Power BI, how Fabric is moving things beyond Power BI, which most of the people know. But before we jump into our today's topic, let's introduce ourselves. This is the agenda. So we will talk about ourselves a little bit, who we are and what we do. We will talk about Fabric. Why is it a good choice, and what do you what can you use it for? To be honest, and after that, we will have a 30-minute demo of how to do things in Fabric. It's going to be a real life demo, and we will show you all the capabilities that is there in Fabric. And in the end, we will have 10 minutes for questions. So feel free to ask. You can write questions in the chat, and we will be able to answer the questions at the end of the session. So this is our agenda, and this is how we will move forward. So quick intro about us, who we are and what we do. We are Dezerius. And we created this company with Jean-Bor. We created this company together, which is a consultancy, and we also do developments, mostly cloud-based platforms. We create like Microsoft Fabric, for example. And but we are not just the techie guys who can do the data engineering and AI stuff. We are mostly focused on data and AI, but we also try to understand the business perspectives and try to understand how companies work. So that's how we would like to bring benefit and value to our customers, that we also try to understand how they work and what kind of solutions would benefit them the most. And why we do cloud is basically because the speed is just much more. We can develop solutions much faster with cloud-based solutions than like on-premise technologies. Yeah. About me, I will be the main presenter, but also you will hear about Jean-Bor too, and he will also do a quick intro. I have like 14 years of experience, 14 years plus experience with data platforms. I mostly worked for on-premise solutions with financial institutes like huge Hungarian banks. And I created lots of data warehouse solutions on that. In the past 4 years, I've been working with cloud-based solutions like Cloudera, Hadoop, Big Data, Databricks, Fabric, and all these cloud-based data platforms. And we also hosted like several webinars about Fabric and Databricks now, probably I think like 5 or 6 now. And we also, in the past 2 years, while Fabric is out, we've delivered A+ projects from small to big. So we really have experience, hands-on experience with Fabric, how it works, what it can do well, and what kind of things there are that's not so good at the moment, but it's a constantly evolving product. So we will talk about that later. So that's it for me. And we will start with Jean-Bor, and he will talk about from the business side why clients are interested in Fabric. So please, Jean-Bor, introduce yourself, and then you can talk about why Fabric is a good solution for customers.
Yes. Thank you, Chaned. Just a quick intro from my side. I'm Jean-Bor Gal from Hungary. I'm the other CEO of Dezerius, and before Dezerius, I worked 10 years at Microsoft as a data and AI specialist. And we started Dezerius with Chaned 2 years ago. Since that, we have 43 colleagues at Dezerius across the EMEA region. And I'm mainly responsible for the sales partner relationships and and leadership consulting regarding digital transformation and data and AI. And I will talk about like why Fabric, basically, in the short session of this webinar. So what you can see is I drew a couple of stages of a maturity model. Uh, Basically, this is just a model, so it's more complex in real life. But what you can see that there are 5 stages at every company. The first, I think everyone experienced it, that everyone creates reports in Excels. There are source systems and there are colleagues who are very, very professional, knows very well those source systems. Someone knows the ERP very well, someone knows the CRM very well, they know the data in it, they know how to connect to it, how to extract it, and they create amazing reports in Excel. The problem with this is that this kind of way is a siloed way. It's hard to share, it's hard to digest these information, it's hard to gain insights across the organization. Usually these reports are created for just some of the leadership, just some of the teams and units, and it's hard to spread them. Uh, the other disadvantage of this is that if that colleagues leave the company, then all the knowledge goes with him or her, and then basically you have to rebuild the report. Somebody has to understand the report, and so on. And then in the last 5, 10 years, with the revolution of BI visualization tools like Power BI and Tableau, uh, most of the companies evolved towards okay, Excel reports are nice, they are very useful, but what if we would use a tool which can be shared with everyone, which can be automatized, where we focus on the insights from the data, where we focus on the visualization of the data. We can consume it on our mobile phone on the way, not just at the desktop and so on. So that's how basically Power BI spread across the world very, very quickly. And usually, when we meet our customers, we find they're in that stage. They already use Power BI or Tableau or ClickSense or ClickView or whatever BI visualization tool. They like it. The leadership likes it, and they want to go on. But the obstacle is that these tools are for visualization. So when you want to connect more data sources, use a report with multiple data sources, and match those data from those different data sources, then there are limitations at these BI visualization platforms like Power BI. And basically, that's what I call bloated BI. So we started to work companies where, like in one Power BI report, there were 70 pages, a lot of data sources, and basically sometimes the report refreshed in 2 hours. So that's what I call bloated BI. And then basically the next step is to implement a data platform. In the old days, we called this data warehouse, but everybody has PTSD from the data warehouse project. Expensive, long, and slow, never-ending projects. But thankfully, in the last couple of like 5, 7 years, very good, very modern, very usable platforms came out to the market, like Databricks and Microsoft Fabric, which basically democratize the usage of data platform. And this is a very important stage, and this is where our work comes to our clients when we help them to implement an end-to-end data platform to basically further mature their organization on this data maturity path. And the last couple of years, with the revolution of AI models and tools, the need emerged that everybody wanted to use AI tools. They don't know how to start it. They don't know necessarily which tool to select. What we experienced during these three last years is that 7 out of 10 AI-related POC or pilot is a failure. And the reason behind that is that the data, the business context is not good. And the reason behind that is that organizations are not on the maturity level 4 in my model, where they have a data platform which provides clean, usable, available data for these AI projects and tools. And we believe, and this is our experience from the last 2 years, that it highly improves the effectiveness of using AI tools if you have already a data platform underneath it. So that's why it's very important to start with the data platform and then apply AI tools on top of it. But Jonad will speak about this later a bit more. So that was my part. Thank you very much. Just some technical information. If you have any question during the webinars, please put it in the chat. We will mark as questions, and later at the end of the webinar, we will answer those questions as well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Jean-Bor. That was a great summary of how clients approach BI and anything related to that. So just to recap everything Jean-Bor said, let's sum up the main benefits of why it is good to use a data platform, especially Fabric. What does it bring to the table, to be honest? So the main aspect of Fabric is it creates one platform where you can store all your data and access all your data, whether it's from BI or AI or just SQL queries, whatever you would like to use. So the good thing is that permission handling, data governance, and maintenance is easier if everything is put into one place. Second of all, it's a software as a service solution, so you don't have to connect all these applications together in the older times. In the start of cloud-based platforms, you had to create connections between like Databricks and ADLS storage and pipelines and whatever. And now it is brought together with a seamless integration. You don't have to worry about how to connect these things. It's out of the box working. And you have unified data access to your data. Of course, you can define permissions for different kind of roles and groups. So unified data access does not mean everyone have access to all kinds of data. So it means that you can control it from one place. It unlocks one platform is really an essential part to unlock cross-source system reporting, meaning like if we have a CRM system and an ERP system or a manufacturing system, we can unlock reports that was not possible before. Like there is also an example I usually bring up when I talk about this, like when you are doing some manufacturing and we see that we are manufacturing some faulty equipment or something. Of course, our first thought process would be to stop manufacturing that kind of the faulty things that we produce. But it would be much better if we could connect this information with our ERP system like SAP, and we can pull out the data, how much loss we are generating with these faulty equipments that we are producing. And it might be that the stopping and restarting of that, I don't know, manufacturing line would make us lose much more profit or money than if we just produce the faulty equipment. So these cross-platform insights are really necessary to create really good organization-wide reports. And also this one platform also makes it enables all kinds of people. Like you can use notebooks if you are like a data engineer. You can use pipelines if you like low-code, no-code solutions. You can use stored procedures and SQL if you are more like from the legacy systems or the old world. I'm calling it like on-premise MS SQL, or you could use like data flows if you come from the Power Query experience and if you are more familiar with that. So the whole point of this is that it enables most of the people to work with it one system, and that's the point. It gives you increased performance because it's a cloud-based solution. You can scale it up, scale it down. You can buy capacities. This is not about Fabric licensing. This webinar is most of the capabilities we will talk about. But you should put heavy calculations into Fabric. As Jean-Bor mentioned, we saw so many places where like heavy calculations were put into reports, like Power BI reports, and of course you can do a lot of things with DAX because it's a really powerful tool. But I think the heavy lifting and calculations should be put into Fabric. It should be pre-processed before the reporting, so that would make the reports much more faster and responsive. And also, Fabric can enable you to have real-time analytics. You can have IoT event streams. So it really has the capabilities to do everything. And the next step, why Fabric I think is a really good platform, is the use of AI. Everybody talks about AI, how we should utilize it, how we should enable our companies to use AI, but nobody really grasps how to do it and what to do with it. So Fabric is a platform where AI is built into many experiences that there are in Fabric. So of course, Microsoft AI or the LLM model that's behind it is called Copilot. So everything is called Copilot, but that means just you can query things with natural language in these kind of experiences. We will show you in the demo how to do that in Power BI, in notebooks, and in other objects and experiences. But it doesn't just mean that they put Copilot in everything. It also means that Fabric can easily integrate with AI solutions like AI Foundry and Azure AI services. So if you have like AI models in AI Foundry or AI services, you can integrate it into Microsoft Fabric. But how does this look like? So I brought you here an example architecture of Fabric, and I don't want to dwell much on it, but I would like to explain the basics. So usually you have some kind of source system data, like you have like on-premise MS SQL server or Excel files, CSVs, or you maybe have like cloud systems like a CRM or a SAP or something like that. And you pull data into Fabric and you store it. The main benefit of Fabric is Lakehouse and Warehouse. So on the Lakehouse, you can store all kinds of data, structured, unstructured, videos or images or JSON files or tables like Delta tables, and everything comes together in the Lakehouse. And there is one really important path. We would say this is more like the old version, where we create a warehouse upon this data, which is mostly structured data, and we create this medallion architecture like bronze, silver, gold. It's a layered approach to clean the data for BI usage. Most of you probably know this, but this is these are really important steps in a BI to prepare the data for human consumption. And of course, on the gold layer, we provide semantic models and layer. That's what we call the semantic layer. but it's basically semantic models where we create relationships between tables and we can build reports on that. However, there is also another aspect of this platform, and it's data science. You can use notebooks, and you can call AI Foundry and AI services, AI models into Fabric. So imagine this situation: you store your, I don't know, image files on the Lakehouse, and you can call a custom vision AI service that can detect some things in these files, and they can put data into your warehouse, whether what kind of things are on those images and things like that. So this is how a platform can come together, and that's why we prefer Fabric, because we can put everything together here, and we can have a good quality data on the Lakehouse, and AI can use it, and also the warehouse can use it. Fabric also has this logical model of creating workspaces. I don't really want to delve into that because I would like to focus on more like the demo. But just for you to know, Fabric is CI/CD integrated with Git, like GitHub or Azure DevOps, and we have a really good best practice to how to implement this solution in Fabric, like the standard 3 environment model, like development, tests, and production workspaces, and this helps to the quality of the product, so we don't modify things in the production environment and potentially do something wrong, and all our reports are going to be messed up afterwards. So Fabric has the full capability of managing that. So, but I think we talked a lot about Fabric and theory. So I think we should jump into the demo itself, and I will show you how Fabric is and how it works. So you still should be able to see my my screen as far as I know. So this is Microsoft Fabric. If we jump in, this is usually the main screen that is there when we jump in. So you can see there, we can see the workspaces. Everything in Fabric is divided into workspaces. So I'm gonna go into this demo workspace which we created. This is all demo data on the New York taxi data. It's a pretty well-known demo data source. But as you can see, we can visualize even in this workspace how we do things in this workspace. Like if I click on the get data task, I would say, I can see which Fabric objects are connected.
Yeah. I don't know, guys, if you can hear me. I think we have a connection issue on Jonad's side. So let's wait a little bit until he's coming back.
Hi guys, can you hear me now? Robor, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you
Okay,
now.
sorry. I don't know where did you lose me, because for some kind of reason everything froze for me, so I had to rejoin. Can you hear me now?
Like 2 minutes ago.
Okay, so did you see when I showed Fabric? So I was talking about like pipelines and things like that.
You just started show fabric.
Okay.
So
Sorry for that. Sorry, guys. Please let me know if everything comes up. So I'm going to share my screen again, and hopefully this will not occur again. So yeah, can you see my screen now, Jean-Bor? You can you hear me, Jean-Bor?
yes, I can hear you and I can see the screen. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, then I'm gonna carry on. Okay, so Fabric. So we are here. We are in the workspace, and as I was talking about, this is just data ingestion. So this is how we put data into Fabric. This is a really easy or a little bit of pipeline that shows you how you can put data into Fabric. Like I have an example data from New York Taxi, and I put it into the Lakehouse through one copy activity. If you know Data Factory, it's a really low-code, no-code good solution to bring data into your platform. So that's that. And also, we will store the data in the Lakehouse. We also have a data lineage view. If data governance is important for you, it shows you which dashboards and reports uses which data sources, what pipelines uses which notebooks, and which notebooks use which lakehouses. So it's a really good out-of-the-box data governance solution to show you around the data lineage. And if we go into the Lakehouse, we can see that the Lakehouse is built up from two components, I would say. One of them is the file views. You can see that this is a CSV file. It looks not so pretty, but we can also turn on the table view, and we can set up that the first is a header, and then now it's a much more cultured approach to show these CSV files. So the Lakehouse it's also like a blob storage. You can store any kind of data like CSV, Excel, images, videos, whatever you would like to store there. And also there are the tables, which are the delta tables. Fabric is using the delta table formula, which is basically Park files with JSON log files, to be honest. And it basically gives you ACID capabilities to use with Microsoft Fabric. So you can use it as a database. So this Lakehouse and the warehouse also uses the same technology. It's one lake behind everything. So you can access everything through the one lake. And you can also have like this SQL analytic endpoints. If you know SQL, then you can query the Lakehouse and the warehouse through SQL, which is the de facto programming language to query data. And as you can see, I can put in a new query just to query one of my tables, and then you can see after the selection is run that I can see the data in these tables. Also, Microsoft Fabric is really user-friendly. It gives you a lot of capabilities for people who are not experts on like SQL and anything else, or programming in general. So we can create like a visual query in the Lakehouse or in the warehouse. As you can see, this will be the same experience as Power Query. If you ever worked with Power Query, this should be really similar for you. I can just drop in one of my tables, and as you can see, this is the Power Query experience. It does the same thing. I can sort the tables by, I don't know, vendor ID or something like that, and I can visually create queries in Fabric, which is a really good thing if you don't know how to write SQL codes. But if you are interested in programming, you can also view the SQL that was generated from what you input into the visual query. So also you can view the SQL behind that if you want to create it as a stored procedure or something like that. So this is what the Lakehouse is about, to be honest. So basically it stores data, whether it's a file format or it can be data tables, which can be used as a database. And we use dbt for transforming data. We connected the Lakehouse, and we use dbt, which is an open source, basically SQL framework to create tables in the warehouse. And that's what we use for data transformation. And after that, when we put data into the warehouse, as you can see, for some reason, this is not included in the warehouse, but whatever. So I can show you the warehouse itself, which basically, if you ever came across with SSMS or SQL Server Management Studio, it's a really similar experience. And it also uses the SQL endpoint. You can query data here. And as you can see, there are like schemas here, tables, views, everything that is known for SSMS. So you can use, as you can see, I can put visual queries here and SQL queries. So it's really the same experience across the board, whether it's a lakehouse or a warehouse. It doesn't matter. Fabric can handle the same, both of them the same. The difference between the two, because that's not so obvious, the difference between the two, if you would like to manipulate data or transform data in the lakehouse, you mostly use notebooks. If you would like to manipulate data in the warehouse, you mostly use SQL. So basically, when you ask the question, which should I use? The answer is, well, what do you prefer, notebooks or SQL? If notebooks, then use Lakehouse. If you use SQL, then use the warehouse. So that's the connection between the two. So after the warehouse, as you can see, we go back to our workspace, and we can see the visualizations. We put together a really basic visualizations for this New York taxi data. But as you can see, it's responsive, and it can filter the data that we have really easily and well. And what is new in Fabric is called Direct Lake, which means that Power BI used to have two ways to connect to your data. One is direct query, which basically sends the SQL queries, or well, not SQL queries, but the queries that you build in Power BI to the source side. And the source side runs that data query and sends the data back to Power BI, which is really good because we don't have any limitations on how much data you can pull out from the source system. However, it tends to be pretty slow because it's really dependent on the connection between Power BI and the source system, and also it takes time for the queries to run. The other mode was import mode, when you import the data from the source system into Power BI itself, which makes it really, really fast, and you can query the data rapidly, but it had limitations, like Power BI had some limitation, like 10 gigabytes of data. If you have more, then you have to start to use direct query and other solutions. And Direct Lake is a new version. It's basically the mix of the two. It means that you can use data from the one lake, direct link on one lake, and it gives you like near real-time data access for your data. So you don't have to use import mode, and you don't have to use direct query mode, and it's both best of both worlds. And this is which is one of the most important things in Fabric that is something new. So also, we haven't talked about it, but let's see the Copilot capabilities of Fabric, because what I've told you now is pretty basic, and probably you know most of it, but we can use Copilot in every experience, and I told you this. So let's see and ask Copilot whether with natural language, I will ask Copilot to create a visualization for me that shows me the total revenue by rate code. So we're gonna run this command, and we will see how Copilot reacts. This is always a risky thing to do in a live demo because we don't really know how it will react. But as you can see, it always tries to explain how he arrived at this table that he gave me, and it can show me like the sum of total amount, which Copilot decided is the total revenue, which is a good guess, and it's the total amount is the revenue that we are talking about. And he also joined together two tables behind the back. We don't know about the data model of this Power BI report, but it doesn't just show me the rate codes, but it also shows me the rate code description. So this could be like 1, 2, 3, or 4, but it also joined together the two tables behind everything, and so it's much more descriptive for me, and it tells me how we arrived to this solution and conclusion here. So this is pretty good if you don't really know Power BI or don't really know the data and you would like to talk to your data or your database. This is a pretty common thing nowadays, that people would like to be able to communicate with their data, and they don't necessarily know how the database looks like behind everything. Because as you can see, I did not put any field names here, and as you can see, these descriptions I gave is not the same as in the database. So Copilot has this capability to try to understand what you are saying, and it tries to make connections between the data that there is in the database and behind everything else. So this is a really powerful capability, but it's not just in Power BI. So you can create like Power BI visualizations with large language models, like with Copilot. However, I have to emphasize that this is more like bare bones stuff. So it can give you ideas, it can give you new ways to visualize data, but it wouldn't be that pretty. So it's not. I wouldn't say its strength does not lie in design and how it looks like. So in the end, you will have to design your own stuff. But just to show you around a few more things where Copilot shines. So, sorry, sometimes it comes up. So, I'm a business user. Let's start from that, and I'm gonna create a new notebook, and I don't know Python, so let's go with this use case. So I'm going to create a new notebook. It's going to be called Notebook 1. I don't want to be more typical in that. I'm going to add my lakehouse. As you can see from OneLake catalog, I'm going to select my lakehouse. So it's good to connect lakehouse to your workbook, because then Fabric knows what kind of data can it work with. And as you can see, here's my lakehouse. I'm going to run the first cell because I would like to initiate a connection with my notebook. As you can see, I initiated the connection in like 4 seconds, so it's really, really fast. And let's see what can we do with this. So let's assume that I would like to pull some data, like from a CSV file, into my lakehouse, but I don't really know how to work with notebooks because I'm not a data engineer. So I just created the prompt which describes what I would like to do. I would like to ingest the CSV file from the lakehouse into a data frame, create some new columns when the data was extracted, and load it into the new data frame. And I would like to save this data into my lakehouse as a Delta table. And I also give some other commands that if it already exists, overwrite it. So we're gonna run this prompt, and we will see what Copilot does. As you can see, I can use Copilot in the chat window, and also I can use Copilot in my notebooks by a cell basis. So we will see what it produces, but what I expect it to do is it will write me a code. As you can see, it rewrote my cell. I'm going to click on accept, and we will see how it runs. So let's assume I don't know what it does, and we will see after it runs if it's good or not. Something is not all right. So as you can see, some files was not found. So the Lakehouse defaults is probably not good, but we will write parafix, and we will see if he can handle fixing its own faults, because this is also a good capability of Copilot, that if something is not good, it will try to understand what it made, the mistake it made, and you try to fix it. And as you can see, I knew that it was probably the path that was wrong, and he also arrived to the same conclusion. So let's run it again. We will see whether it works or not, and we will see how well it was able to fix its own error. So as we can see, it's running, and it also gives us an explanation of why it did what it did, and what it thought the problem was. And also we found invalid characters in the file names. Okay, let's go again. Let's go try to fix it again. We will do this until it can provide a good code. So this is kind of similar to wipe coding. I don't know if you ever heard about that solution, but it also tries to fix again its same mistakes. So let's accept it. I'm running it again, and we will see whether now it will be good, and if it will be able to run. And the end result should be in the Lakehouse, a new data table that will be created from this CSV file. So yes, we will try to fix it again. And you can play around with this all the time, but in the end, it will. It usually takes 1 or 2 iterations for it to fix itself. But after that, it usually creates a good code. And after that, if you run it, then it will be able to create the data table in itself. So yeah, but in the live demo, it's always a risky thing to do this, because whether it will be able to do it or not is depending on it. So moving on from this, I also wanted to show you the capabilities of AI Foundry and AI Vision. So how can we connect Fabric with other AI solutions? Like I don't know if you ever saw AI Foundry and AI services in Azure, but it's basically AI Foundry is a place for governing data, models for AIs. And as you can see, I'm in AI Foundry now, and I can show you different kinds of pre-built AI models, like let's see, like vision and document. Let's see some kind of invoice type of detection. And this just gives you an example how the model works. It gives you example PDF files which can run this model, and it can detect invoice lines and invoice amounts and things like that on these PDF files. So this is a model that you can use in AI Foundry. But how does this relate to Microsoft Fabric? And I will show you that in 1 second. But I also wanted to talk about these other 2 things. So there is AI Foundry, as I showed you on my diagram, and also there are AI services like Custom Vision. As you can see, there is like Custom Vision.ai, which is a studio. So there is like Copilot Studio, Custom Vision Studio, and these studio versions are like the no-code, low-code versions of AI services, I would say. So we created a refrigerator inspector model, I would say. As you can see, these are my models, and these will the main purpose for this is to detect what kind of energy drinks there are in this refrigerator. And we built a model. We can use the UI to train the model with images, monitor performance of our models, as you can see here, and we can create then predictions of new images, whether they have like energy drinks or not. So these are the two words which can be included with Fabric, the AI models. And when we are using these AI models, there is something called API keys that we use to connect Fabric with these models. So if I go into Fabric, I can show you the notebook of this refrigerator detector. We saved everything in the Key Vault, which is basically a password managing application in Azure, so that we don't share our secrets and passwords and API keys with strangers on the internet, especially not when we are doing a demo. And what you can see now is this is a notebook that will pull data from the lakehouse, and it will run the model of this custom vision model, and it will detect things on the refrigerator. So this is the notebook. So the notebook is the place where you can connect these both words through lakehouse and OneLake. So OneLake will handle the data, as you can see here. I have this refrigerator detector files, and I can show you the files here that was uploaded onto the lakehouse, and we can see that there is a refrigerator here. And the other thing is that if I go into the tables, after I run this script, I will be able to check, to output the metadata that was ripped from this picture into a Delta table. So if I go into AI services, I will be able to show you. I'm going to go into the lakehouse, and I'm going to show you what the end result is. So after we run that model in custom vision, which basically was created to detect shelf energy drinks on these. As you can see, these are the energy drinks types that it's able to detect. And this is the end result, which is in Fabric. So after that, we can load this into the database. We can create like rules upon this to maybe send an email to a colleague, so that because the main business use case for this scenario was that a salesperson goes into a retail store, takes a picture of a refrigerator, and there is a predefined set of rules which needs to be applied on that refrigerator, because there is a contract between the energy drink manufacturer and the retail shop, I would say. So, and this was a really manual thing for them to do. So we could achieve this automatic analyzation of the refrigerators through Custom Vision Studio and Microsoft Fabric. So they just upload pictures on the lakehouse. We run the script in predefined intervals, but we can also run it event-based, and it will output what kind of energy drinks are there on the refrigerator. And it also has some flags like, is there enough HAL, is there enough CISO teas or not? Because these are the rules that we need to monitor whether they are upholding the contract or not. So as you could see, we could create really basic AI capabilities with Fabric. This is basically all no-code, low-code stuff, with exception of course, calling the model from a notebook. So it needs some data engineering when you connect the two, but Copilot can help you with that to write these kind of codes. And also the UI is really really easy to train these kind of models, and you can store them in AI Foundry and then can reuse them all through the company. So, so this is the capabilities of Fabric, and I think this is where I will stop, and we can go to the questions, right?
Yeah. Chanel, before we go on to the questions, just some technical information. A little present for you guys. Whoever attended on this webinar can apply for Taylor's workshop regarding Fabric. 1.5 hour for the first time. And also we have some slots funded by Microsoft for half or 1 day tailored workshop for your team and company as well. So feel free. We put it in a push message in the on the screen. Feel free to click on it. You can book a time with us, or we can call you later if you clicked on it, and then we can schedule this workshop for you. And also we will sync with Microsoft after the workshop regarding a deeper workshop for the organization as well. So thanks. I saw like 3 people already applied, so feel free to apply. Just that was my technical information. But going on to the questions, and also if some questions emerge during this 5-10 minutes we have left, just feel free to chat in and we will answer those as well. Chana, do you want me to read the questions for you, or?
I think now I see, so I can
Okay, great.
get the questions. So which should we start with?
I think the first one was.
And can you feed the fridge data into some sort of Power BI report? Yes, of course. So when I'm gonna answer this question. So this whole fridge stuff is basically a data table in the end, which is the same like the New York taxi data. So you could fill all this into a Power BI report. So the semantic model, you can define it on whether a warehouse or a lakehouse. So the table I showed you in the demo is in the lakehouse. So you can create a semantic model on that, which you can create a report upon that. So maybe we could show how many refrigerators were infringing the rules, how many were okay with the rules, and things like that. So yeah, this is how all things come together, AI and BI. So the whole thing is one platform. Okay, so this was answered. Will the Copilot maintain the structure of coding every time same or it change, because it's more like ChatGPT or vibe coding, whatever. If we ask a code, it keep it change. It's all depending on prompt engineering. So of course, if you give specific tasks to it to keep this a different structure or something, then it can follow those prompts. However, as you could see in the demo, it is random how it produces. So it's similar to ChatGPT or other AI models. It's not constant and does not produce the same results all the time. But if you say like in the prompt that I would like my variables to be called variable name, then it will follow those instructions. Yeah, so it will try to, and also if you use this fix command that I usually used during the demo, it will try to keep as much of the code as possible. So it only tries to rewrite the things that he thinks is, or she thinks, or it thinks is faulty in that regard. So yeah. Okay, do you use cloud for aspects of development? More specifically, can I use Power BI service instead of Power BI desktop app? Yes, you can use the Power BI service. I would say for like more lightweight Power BI reports or just small modifications on reports, it's totally fine to use the service. However, if you would like to do some really heavy work, I would still recommend the desktop application because it's just more powerful than the service app. But you can use both, and it's still connected to the same sources, and it's the same file, so you don't override things and things like that. But you can use both experiences at the same time, to be honest. So yeah, you can use it that. We, as Dezerius, we usually use VS Code and Power BI Desktop for development because the cloud-based interface is sometimes a bit more limiting, I would say. But for people who are not as experienced in development or don't need that speed, it's totally fine to use the cloud-based client. So it's perfect. Okay, hi, not sure if questions are allowed. They are allowed, so feel free to do it. Any benefit you see using DBT over Databricks in the data warehouse side, or it's an example? DBT and Databricks is not two different things. So DBT is an SQL framework, and you can use DBT with Databricks. Databricks equivalent is more like Fabric. So Fabric is also a platform, and Databricks is also a platform. Databricks can also run on clusters. It can run notebooks. It can have an SQL warehouse where you can query your data. So it's more like, Databricks is more like Fabric, but Fabric is a bit more end-to-end, I would say. You can have ingestion, you can have Power BI in it, so it's a bit more robust, I would say. So yeah. Will this be a centrally managed platform? You mean Fabric itself? It is a centrally managed platform, but it's also, so in Fabric, you have to utilize best practices. And that's what we usually help clients with when they start their journey in Fabric. We help them to explain how to use Fabric and what kind of best practices there are, like, because there is always a need for self-service BI, like to be able to ingest your own CSV files or own Excel files and combine it with some centralized governed data sources, and you can create reports upon both of them. But we have to separate the governed aspect and the ungoverned aspect, and Fabric can help you with that. So there are ways to do that. So we also tell it's a best practice to have a governed side, a centralized, I would say, data warehouse or data platform, and also you can have your own little workspace where you have all your own data, and you can use shortcuts. I forgot to mention shortcuts, which are really important. You can use shortcuts to shortcut the central Fabric artifacts. Like shortcuts are just basically logical shortcuts to data. So you don't have to always copy and paste the data from one workspace to other. You can use the same data throughout the whole Fabric experience with shortcuts without moving the data.
Yeah. Jonel, if I may extend your answer for the first question regarding DBT. So whatever platform you use for data warehousing or lake houses, Fabric or Databricks, it's worth to use together with DBT. DBT simplifies developments very much, regardless which platform you use, Databricks or Fabric or on-prem or whatever. We use a lot of DBT when we develop and implement to the clients. Yeah, and also regarding the centrally managed platform question, you can use different styles how you manage your BI team or the reports or the artifacts within Fabric. For example, there could be like one single central environment which is managed by a central BI team, or you can go for the data mesh concept where it's decentralized. Every division have their own responsibilities, their own sandbox, their own workspaces, and Fabric is capable of supporting both ways, basically, and the hybrid version as well. So it's up to you and your organization which style to choose, basically. That's my additional answer. And I think we are finished with the questions.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for everyone. We got very good questions. Also, there are 4 people to apply for the workshop. Thank you for that as well, and thank you for attending, everyone.
Yeah, thank you very much for being here, and yeah, good luck with Fabric in the future, everyone. So thank you very much. Take care and goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.